Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Hindash. Today's video is one of the most exciting videos I'll make because I'm revealing my brand and my first product ever. And of course, Timmy has to be in this. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Hindash and I'm an artist that's born and raised in Dubai. I used to be a painter. I have been painting professionally for over 10 years. And then I kind of shifted into the world of beauty and photography through makeup. And I have done that ever since. And I love it. It's a big passion of mine. Ever since I was an artist, I always looked at magazines and editorials as inspiration, so I was always really inspired by beauty. To me, it felt very familiar because those advertisements always looked like digital paintings to me, and I found that very fascinating. And throughout my studies, I actually built my thesis on society's perception of beauty and the obsession of beauty. And that's kind of where Beautopsy was born. It was my solo show. I tied it in with my senior show, and it is my baby, it's my masterpiece, and that was in 2015. And if you Google Beautopsy, you'll be able to see a few of my paintings from that show. Beautopsy is basically the autopsy of beauty and dissecting the world of beauty and perfection and how people perceive it. So fast forward 6 years later, I basically dove into the world of beauty, became a makeup artist, I worked with so many amazing brands, and I met so many amazing people. I mean, for me, I'm such an introvert, so doing this kind of gave me this really amazing interaction with other people. It's just an extension of my art and my craft, and I really fell deeply in love. So I wanted to create a brand for quite a while now. I was thinking about it in 2018, and that's when I started conceptualizing what I wanted to do and what colors I needed to put in this product, which in my head was always a multi-use product. So I love the idea of a palette because it feels very familiar to me as a painter and as an artist. So taking that and kind of dissecting it and conceptualizing it into the world of beauty and makeup was kind of really exciting for me. I spent 2 years kind of conceptualizing the colors. I mean, I wasn't like sitting down and working on it for 2 years, but they were always in the back of my head. And I knew that these colors had to represent and work on all skin tones. So that was very important for me. And another thing I wanted to do was I needed the pans to be big enough for you to be able to naturally use your blush brush or your eyeshadow brush. So I didn't want to compromise. But by doing that, I had a problem where the palette would be too bulky and too big, and it would be geared more towards makeup artists and professionals and less towards the everyday consumer, and it would kind of be a bit of a scary thing. So I spent a lot of time trying to think of how to condense it and conceptualize it and really like simplify the entire idea of this palette. I was basically driving one day and I started to think about how I do my swatches because I was thinking of how the colors would look side by side. I had these 12 colors. I was thinking, okay, so if each color is going to be on the opposite end, how are they going to look? Are they going to like work together? So then I got this idea. Usually when I swatch, I dip my finger in the powder and then I go one way and then the opposite way, and they kind of meet in the middle and create this perfect seamless swatch. So I said, okay, what if those two colors are different colors and then they meet in the middle? And then I thought, oh my God, let me do an ombre. I mean, I have seen it before in blushes, it's been done, so it could be feasible with powders. And I thought, blushes, powders, eyeshadows is all the same thing, but it is not. I mean, usually this technology is done with very sheer powders, face powders, and blushes that go on in a very sheer way to give you a hint of color and a blush. So I wanted this to have more impact. I wanted it to be a multi-use product. So eyes, face, brows, contour, whatever you want. So then I thought, oh my God, I had this amazing idea. It's going to be so cool. We're going to be able to do it. That was not the case. Beautopsy took 2 years into development because the technique is so precise and very hands-on. And they didn't know that it could work with eyeshadows because eyeshadows are more dense and they hold more pigment. So one trial for just creating one color took about 3 months. And that was, disregarding the color, it's just the technique. So it really took a long time. And then COVID hit, which really just doubled and tripled that time, which was insane. But then I was able to rework the formula and create this beautiful texture that goes on like a second skin and builds up to more of an intense color. I didn't want the color payoff to be really intense from the get-go because again, this is a face and eye palette, but they really do build up to that intense eyeshadow finish. And each shade is pressed completely differently. So that was another challenge. I didn't want all the colors to have the same payoff because some colors needed to be more intense and some colors needed to be more of that buildable, beautiful finish. So for example, Love Kills, which is the orange and red, I really wanted that to be very approachable and wearable, even though it's a pop of color. And when I thought of this shade, I immediately thought of blushes for deeper skin tones. And these are the blushes that I gravitate towards. So they go on beautiful on the skin. And if you want to build them up, use them with a base, and it's just such a beautiful color. And all the colors in the palette really work in harmony with one another. They're made to blend into each other, to customize your perfect color. They're meant to work on all skin tones. It's very universal and very versatile, which makes me so excited. I mean, whenever I look at this palette, I just get excited about makeup and I get inspired, and I just want to get creative, because you can really build beautiful natural looks and you can bump it up to whatever you want. And that just, it makes me so happy. Beautopsy to me is such a personal project. It is my masterpiece. It's basically an extension of me, and I have put everything into this palette and product. Whether you're a beginner or a professional makeup artist, I didn't want the colors to be intimidating, and in application, they're really gonna blend like a dream. There's pretty much no fallout in this, which is so important to me because I really wanted it to be a very approachable product and to give you these perfectly blended looks every single time. So let's talk a bit about the colors. First off, we have Tan Lines, which is a soft light brown that blends into a pure white. And I love this as a brightener. It goes on like a translucent color that brightens and blends everything into perfection. And on lighter skin tones, this is an amazing kind of highlight and contour. I love it. And you can dip in any of these colors in the pure white to just lighten it and give it that white base, which is awesome. Next up, we have Wet Paint, which is a beige that blends into a banana yellow. And I love this for medium to tan skin tones. It again neutralizes and you can create beautiful looks. It's also a blender shade and a lightener shade. So I love dipping the blushes into wet paint to lighten them up depending on your skin tone. And you can use them as is to really pack on that beautiful color. Next, we have Boy Wonder, which is a very special shade. I wanted the most kind of feminine color in the palette to have a masculine name. And when I think of Boy Wonder, I think of, you know, being out in the sun, sun-kissed cheeks, like a healthy glow. And it is a beautiful peach that blends into a bubblegum pink. And on its own, this really looks so beautiful, and it works on so many different skin tones. Because these pigments are so pure, they're gonna look so beautiful. Again, if you wanna darken this, you dip it into Love Kills. And if you wanna lighten it, you dip it into either Wet Paint or Tan Lines. Feel Real is a very special shade to me because it is kind of the most contrasting in the gradients, and I love that it's kind of a neutral, slightly warm brown that blends into a pure concrete gray. And I spent so much time working on this gray because I have no gray like this in my collection. All my grays are very dark, and I wanted this pure concrete that I can control. So I can lighten this if I wanted with the white, and I can darken it if I wanted to with the black. And on its own, this gray is so flattering all over the lid as well. You kind of don't need anything with it. It's crazy. And Feel Real is such an incredible shade because you can get so many dimensions of a brown that ranges from a warm all the way up to a neutral and a gray. I'll put in a video here, and it's so crazy how you can get so many browns out of this pan. And this is what excites me about this palette, is that it's so versatile and you can basically create anything you want. Next, we have Love Kills, and I love this shade. I really wanted something really powerful and very pure in pigment because I wanted this to show up on deeper skin tones, on tan skin tones. I love these as blushes. They just really warm up the face and give you this beautiful glow, especially on deeper skin tones. If you want to lighten these up, you can dip it into wet paint and it becomes like almost a light orange, a tangerine, which is so beautiful. And if you build this up with an eyeshadow base, I mean, I recommend using eyeshadow bases. That's how I work, because you can really build up that color. Because this is a vegan palette, and when it comes to red, it's a dye, so please make sure that you are safe to use this. Do a patch test. It is recommended for the face, but you have to check if you're allergic to the red dyes in vegan shadows. And lastly, we have Intrafatum. And by the way, these last colors are all names of tattoos that I have. So it's really cool. It kind of references my past, present, and future. So that's why it's very personal to me. Intrafatum is, I mean, if you know me, you know I love a chocolate brown. So I had to put in a chocolate brown that blends into a black So you can use these as eyeliners, you can spray a bit of Fix Plus on your brush, and you can set this with an existing liner. It's such a rich color. Again, you can control the intensity of the brown. If you want it less warm and chocolatey, you can go somewhere in the middle and you get this beautiful dark brown that's more neutral. And of course, it blends into a black. So on deeper skin tones, this is a beautiful contour as well. And you can kind of control how dark you want to go, which I mean, love. The packaging is cardboard because I wanted this to reflect a really luxurious notebook and sketchbook. So it feels very heavy. It's this beautiful matte black cardboard material. We have Beautopsy over here and then Hindash in the front. I spent so much time on this packaging because I knew I wanted a cardboard because I'm a bit clumsy, and the last thing that I want is dropping this palette and ruining everything that I've done inside and having it shatter. And I feel like cardboard can really handle the impact of a fall, so this was very important for me. And I mean, now I can't imagine doing it any other way because it is perfect to me. I'm so nervous filming this because I feel like I have so many things to say about this. I've spent so much time working on this and so much has gone into it. So if you want to know anything, leave me a comment, let's chat. Maybe I'll do a Q&A on my Instagram, so follow me there at Hindash. And I think we have a lot to talk about. I'm here to answer your questions. I mean, it's a really exciting product and I just can't wait for you to play with it and experience it in the way that I've imagined. I mean, by now you should have already seen the campaign video, which I have posted alongside this video. So go check it out. The team was amazing. I spent so much time working on this with my brother Abdullah and my cousin Noura. They are my team and I couldn't have done this without them. I mean, they're like my support system. They're my family. And the video is insane. It's everything I imagined. I was very particular with the music, with the direction, and the glass had to reference my paintings and the past. So if you see all these kind of strips of glass, they reference my paintings, and it's just so special to me. It's perfect. I really hope you guys enjoy Beautopsy and what's to come from Hindash Cosmetics, and I want to thank each and every one of you for making this possible because you have supported me in so many ways that I could only have imagined. I mean, I didn't think that going from being a painter to doing beauty and just being so passionate about it and loving every single step of the way, it really makes my heart so happy, and I have no words. I mean, I wish I could say what I am feeling, but I can only try. Beautopsy will be available on my website, hindash.com, in March. So stay tuned and follow me on Instagram for all the updates. If you enter the website now, you can put your name in and your email and you will be notified as soon as we're live, which is so exciting. And of course, I'll be announcing it on my Instagram. And yeah, this is it. I will see you very soon with all my Beautopsy tutorials, how to use it, creating so many amazing looks for all of you. And I'll see you very soon. Bye.